Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Phil and Ryan, listen up. Ryan, this is the episode they've been waiting on. The starting five, the starting lineup predictions right here on Listen Up. Yeah, it's that time of year again. Everybody subscribe, like, comment to the video. Ryan, in this video, we're going to predict Gino Auriemma's squad, their starting five. We'll start off with you. What does it look like? And everybody, it is very important to comment away in this video and tell us who you think the starting five will be. The disruptive one, Ryan, he was looking forward to this video, so we finally have it out. What does your starting five look like prior to the exhibition game coming up this weekend, but more importantly, prior to that November 7th tip? And not only that, Ryan, we understand a lot will change with the starting lineup, but for the majority of the year, and especially the first couple months, Ryan and I will give our starting five prediction. But Ryan, you told me Griffin and Fudd will come back later on in the season, obviously. So I think that'll shake things up in the starting five.
Yeah, well, this is the one we've been talking about ever since pretty much the beginning of the off season, but pretty much for about 2 months now. And of course, we finally have it for you guys just a couple of days before of course, the exhibition game, but most importantly, the starting or the first regular season game. But yeah, make sure you guys comment down below what you guys predict the starting five will be for the first UConn game and like and subscribe, like Phil said, while you're at it. But yeah, we of course have to remember that AZ Fudd, Aubrey Griffin, and Caroline Ducharme will not be available until December or maybe even later. But when AZ and Aubrey come back, like you said, I could definitely see the lineup changing and them both possibly being in the starting five. But for game one, my prediction is, of course, Paige Beckers and then KK Arnold, Ashlyn Shade, Ice Brady, and Jana L. Alfie. Now, I think you can probably make a strong prediction or argument against some of these players, which is why I'm so curious to see what you guys comment down below. But of course, for the guard spot, me and Phil were talking about it. Ashlyn Shade, KK Arnold. We just feel like they both deserve to be in that starting lineup after what they did last year for this team. Now, of course, with UConn getting Caitlin Chen, still have to break her down before the season starts. Excited for that episode. But of course, Caitlin Chen being a grad student from Gonzaga, I believe, or Princeton, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, Caitlin Chen could definitely be in the starting lineup for the first game, definitely replacing KK or Ashlyn for one of those guard spots. And then, of course, you move down to the forwards, and you can definitely put Sarah Strong as a strong possibility to be in the starting lineup, possibly replacing Jana or Ice Brady in that spot. Now, of course, Ayanna Patterson, you could argue for her as well. But of course, we did see her with that brace on her arm, so not sure if she's exactly 100% to start the season. And then, of course, we can't forget about Morgan Shelley and Ali Zabel, the two other recruits, the new freshmen on this team. Definitely don't see them starting right away, but could possibly see them both getting a strong amount of minutes to start this season. And I think Ali Zabel has especially had a strong showing, so I could definitely see her getting a good amount of minutes to start the season.
All right, you tell me if this is exactly what you have, and everybody else tell us. All right, ready, Ryan? I'm going KK Arnold, Paige Beckers. We'll go with two big forwards, right? We'll go Ice Brady, and I will go. Who is the other forward, Ryan, that you had said? I will go with Yana Al Alfie. Okay, and then let's go with Ashlyn Shade. So that's the same. I guess that's the same starting five that you had.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because again, you're right. I think the biggest move right away when you talk about the starting five, and again, some people say, it doesn't matter, Phil and Rye, but obviously, we like to have fun right before the season starts. And not only that, fun. Gino doesn't want to hear about fun, Ryan. This is serious business, right? I mean, this is up to him to provide the best starting five and put them out there on the floor. Not only that, I think our prediction and whoever predicts the starting five, whichever get the starting nods, I think they'll play a lot of minutes, get a big workload all season long. Now, again, we have to remember Fudd coming back later on, Griffin coming back later on. And we hope that they're back, Ryan, for that big matchup against USC when you and I travel up there right before Christmas. Let me tell you this, though. You're right. There's so many factors that can go into this here starting lineup because you have to factor in Caitlin Chen, the new face coming in, right, Chen? But I think the big question mark is where do you put Strong? And you said it right because these two forwards to me kind of questionable. And I think one of them, not saying they're going to fall off, they're not going to protect the rim, they're not going to do this or that. I think they'll do just fine. But again, you got to watch it. If you're one of these UConn Huskies, you got to watch it. I think Sarah Strong is knocking on the door right away, and we haven't even seen her yet.
Yeah, and I think it's a good problem to have because we talked about it
Mm-hmm.
before, obviously how much talent we have on this team, and you could really make two starting five competitive rosters out of the 14 players that we have. I mean, you could take Caitlin Chen, of course, Aubrey Griffin and AZ Fudd if they're 100% healthy, and those are three other guards that could be on a complete other starting five. And then, of course, you can also take Ayanna Patterson and Sarah Strong. So the other five players that I don't have in my starting five could easily be a starting five on a lot of other programs, which is a really, really good problem to have for UConn. It just speaks to how much talent is on this team. But yeah, I think, of course, Gino always has a good problem and a lot of question marks to try to figure out an answer before the first game. And of course, all the practices leading up to the first game, he learns a lot about, especially the newer players on this team. But yeah, definitely looking forward to see a couple of these girls as they take the first step on Sunday in the exhibition game and kind of see what the lineup is there and see if Gino keeps it the same for, of course, the real start November 7th for the regular season game.
And by the way, Ashlyn Shade and KK Arnold, you said it right. They definitely earned it. And I think we'll see a lot of them, a lot of starts from them too. Two guards, right, Ryan? Two guards in the starting lineup. Man, Arnold, Shade. I mean, they could be some of the biggest names, household names by the end of the season. Let's go over to comments from the quick turnaround, right? This comment lines up with this video very nicely, Ryan. Paul said, for starting lineup, you have to consider there will be at least one surprise. My guess, Beckers, Chen, Chelly, Strong, El Alfie.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see what people see. Leaving Shade and Arnold out, it's definitely really interesting. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's just so many different possibilities, and it's not necessarily there's a wrong answer for the starting lineup question, and I think we could definitely see a different starting five. Maybe from the first to second game of the season, possibly Gino could put Ali Zabel and Sarah Strong and swap them out with a guard and forward from the first game of the season. So I think we're definitely going to see a couple mix-ups like we have the previous seasons, and hopefully it won't be due to injuries, but rather just, Gino trying out these different lineups and seeing what players he likes the best to start the game, and what players that he thinks maybe have a better impact coming off the bench.
All right, here we go. U.S. veteran said, how many times have we seen her step up and take control of the game? I guess he was quoting you or I from the last video. It's in quotes. And then he said, the same can be said about how many times she did not step up. AZ is a streaky, hot, and cold shooter. Well, Ryan, I have to tell you, sometimes you cannot control how your body reacts. I mean, injuries are injuries.
Yeah, I mean you can't deny that AZ's obviously really a talented shooter, and she's definitely had some really big games. And I think that the game you mentioned last night against Texas, I think she had a big game against Tennessee, and it was those two games that really put her on the national spotlight, I would say, I believe, during her freshman season, and obviously a couple other big games since then. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's for, almost everybody, especially when you're a really good, talented shooter. I think you definitely have your on and off days, and like you said, with AZ battling these two different injuries, it's definitely not easy for anybody to handle. But we're hoping that she can return sometime around December and make a real strong impact for this team.
All right, one more. Michael Lawson said, AZ, I love AZ to death, but I don't know what AZ I would see this year. She's getting hurt before a scrimmage game. I hope to see the same AZ I've seen against Tennessee every game when she comes back. P.S. AZ, I'm still waiting for my 60 piece. Thank you. Whoa, Ryan, 60 piece.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I think, Paige and AZ, if there's anybody that could do it, it could probably be those two. Of course, we saw Ashlyn, I think, get about 30 last season. We definitely seen Paige almost get to 40 some nights. So yeah, I think AZ is definitely, like I said, a really talented three-point shooter. And it is hard to say when she does hopefully return sometime this season, how healthy is she actually going to be, and can she really play up to her 100% potential like we've seen before. But she's definitely still in her prime, obviously, and still can get better, I believe. So hopefully these injuries don't really hold her back too much.
Everything negative, Ryan, pressure, challenges, is all an opportunity for you to rise. These ladies are strong, they're talented, and I believe they've been through a lot of challenges, and any one of them are ready to pick up the challenge, the load bucket, if you will, right? The load bucket, and take on a starting role on this very talented 24-25 team. But who would be the starting five prediction video, Ryan? Finally dropped. I appreciate you a lot. Listen up.